And thank you, Aisha, for the fire that y'all spit. So I love to go first because I don't really like to go after nobody because it puts a little bit of, I'm just being honest, like it puts a little bit of pressure, but I'll rise to the moment because I believe it's my calling to do so. My name is Reggie Hubbard. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'd like to acknowledge the land that I'm on, the unceded territory of the Piscataway in Anne Arundel County, Maryland. I'd like to acknowledge the lineage of the teachings that I've been blessed to embody. So the Sri Vidya tradition of Hatha Yoga, the Ajahn Chah Thai Forest tradition of mindfulness, the Zen Buddhist tradition through Roshi Joan Halifax of the Upaya Zen Center. These are the lineages that I carry and hold in this moment as a Black man in the United States. And I want to pick up on something Tara mentioned because I also grew up in the church, right? So, like, and Justin knows this because we were in Spain together. Don't give me a mic because I might take you to church, but we'll all go together. Without vision, the people perish, is what the Old Testament offers. And, we're in a bunch of hard times, but if we soften into the hard times, that yields exhilaration for the opportunity to recreate our world. And I honestly feel that, and I wouldn't feel that without these practices. Y'all, we are tired, we are hurting, and we are scared. We don't name that. We as a collective are tired, hurting, and scared. We live in a world with ubiquitous smart devices, yet writ large, we act a little bit more foolish, right? We live in a world where tempers are inflamed, yet the collective heart has grown colder. We live in a world where by some measures we've never been more connected, yet we've never been more divided or apart. Quoting the sage elder Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Right? These words have never rung truer, and we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. We've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. It's an imperative of our time, and those words which are uttered 52 years ago have never been more poignant. Y'all, we are tired, we are hurting, we are scared. And I think of the words that were once the province of SAT that have become part of our nomenclature: pandemic, endemic, insurrection, like impeachment, inflation. Of course, people are scared and tired. Of course, you are. But notice what I said. We are scared. It's not an individual thing. We all are scared. And the enormity of what we face requires us to heal and shift perspective. Lama Rod Owens talks about collective suffering as a common ground from which we have the potential to organize and come together. We just need people to have the courage to speak it. We have to have the fortitude to hold space to come together. We're in this together, whether we like it or not. In a recent speech I gave in Spain, I talked about the connection between inner well-being and social transformation. And I concluded by saying, I truly believe that even in this dark moment, I've never believed more in our collective potential, provided that we have the courage to consider new ways of being and speak them into existence. So allow me to practice what I preach. I consider the relevance of mindfulness and compassion in this moment. It's never been more important, right? To embody these concepts and bring them into a world with a fierceness and dedication that's the cynicism and hopelessness and fear that seem to be everywhere. The medicine of increasing awareness of self, connection to the source of love, and the compassion that unites us all, and softening the edges of cynicism to the fertile soil of imagination allows for new ways to come forth. This is the basis of my personal and teaching practices. I believe we're seeing the failure of the myth of rugged individualism. Hoorah. And the necessity of the awakening to our shared humanity and our common destiny. Quoting the prophetic elder Martin Luther King Jr., we're caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied in a single garment of destiny. What affects one affects all directly. And I believe our discontent and despair is the echo of a deeper calling for connection to self and one another. We're being called to consider something else, something new to us, but that's timeless and always in style. The tools of non-judgmental awareness and loving kindness, beginning with ourselves and extending to one another again and again and again. So when we embrace the sacred pause of mindfulness, we can see not only what's going on, to quote Marvin, but we begin to resource ourselves from the wisdom of that presence and form wise action. We're able to sit back and say, of course I'm upset, right? Of course. And it's okay. And we're able to discern what's true, both what we see and what sounds true, see what I did there, and that we're not the only ones that feel the way that we do, right? And in our present moment, what's true is that we're all feeling the weight of the past several years and the fruition of centuries of delusion. That's what's going on. And what's also true that it's within our power to come together and catalyze transformation from this paralysis into the spaciousness of the wise heart. So with these sacred timeless tools, we can begin our transformation and from our collective exhaustion into abiding rest. We can alchemize our collective pain into wisdom and resilience, and we can allow our fear to mature into a courage devoted to our collective renaissance. May it be so. Blessing and peace.
May it be so.